right, hello everybody. How is everyone doing today? My name is Jennifer McCollum. I'm a pro film makeup artist, and we're talking today about why you should have clean tools and keep them from being dirty, right? Oh my gosh, why should we have clean tools? All right. And why should we look good? Alright, I'm glad you guys are laughing. I'm in the right place, right? So, yes, I'm a pro film makeup artist, so I'm going to warn you first off. I have fake dirt on. Okay? So we're really going to talk about why should you have clean tools? Why should you care? Hey Chris, how you doing? Alright, so let's talk about this. Back in the 80s, we as professional makeup artists started changing how we applied makeup, how we cleaned and sanitized our stuff, and how we took care of our area. Because why? In the 80s, we started to become more aware of conjunctivitis, of AIDS, of communicable diseases, and stuff like that. So not just colds and flus and things like that, all right? But we need to keep our stuff clean because of that, all right? So back in the 80s, we started being more responsible. And one thing, when people come to you and you say you're a makeup artist, first thing they're going to look at is your appearance. So if you got dirt on your face, are they going to want you to do their makeup? Well, no. Why? Because both actors, both customers, wedding people are going to look and say, ooh, I have had tons of background people start coming up to me for touch-ups because they saw me cleanse and sanitize my lip brushes and stuff like that. All right? So, let's kind of start. I have a setup right here. Whenever you walk away from your station, wherever you walk away from where you've set up, one of the first tips I'll tell you is to take your cape and cover your stuff. Because if you're like me, my allergies are mold and dust mites. So you're covering this up, all right, to keep, one, people from going through your stuff. Because, when you're not around, and dirt can be everywhere, right? So that's one trick. Just kind of keep everything covered when you step away. Second thing is have a very good spatula. I love you too. Alright, and have you something to put your creams, powders, shadows on. I know there's a trend in a lot of makeup artists, especially if it's a wax or cream base type of foundation. They want to put that concealer on their hand. They want to put the makeup on their hand because your body is warm and it warms it up and you feel like it can go on better. Stop doing that. Just stop it. Get yourself a great palette. Get yourself a spatula to put your makeup on your palette and to keep it clean. And you're going to clean and you're going to sanitize these guys as well. Now, another cool little trick I started doing, because if you're doing makeup in someone's house or you're doing at a church or something like that, this is a great little trick. This is one of those dry mats. So if you happen to spill something, because we all have those days, right, where we are butterfingers and we spill stuff, these mats are going to soak up. And then what can you do to help keep this clean and sanitized? You can put one of these aside and put it in the washing machine. Wait, I have more tips coming up on that. Then I also lay down a towel before I lay this down as well. Alright, and I have notes today, so one thing, if you have lots and lots of people that you're working with, you can get disposables. I have a love-hate relationship with disposables because, you're throwing them away. You're only using it on one person, which is good and sanitary, but then you're throwing it into the environment. But even with your disposables, have a great container like this to put them in. Alright, and I'm going to show you guys some of these disposables. We call these spoolies. Why do you want to use these? Alright, where did I set that mascara? When you use mascara is only used to one person. One person at a time for mascara. Right? Ah, there he is. Now, just like you probably saw, you don't want to pump the mascara, get air in there, because that can increase the growth of bacteria, right? And even if it's yours, if you have a cold or a flu or all the students and healthcare educators, pink eye, very contagious, you want to throw this guy away if you happen to get pink eye. If you're using these little spoolies, you're throwing away. You're not double dipping. You know how we hate people to double dip at the Super Bowl party, am I right? Alright. Yes, but wait, there's more. So spoolies are great because you can use them for your eyebrows, you can use them for mascara. You're not double dipping. And I'm going to tell you, people are going to appreciate it. Because when they see you as a professional makeup artist and you're clean, and you're not double dipping, you're showing respect for their safety. This is one of my hot topics, people, because I'm going to tell you. This is another great disposable applicator, and this is good for lips. I've even used this when I couldn't find my spatula to get concealer out and then put it on this palette, and then you just throw it away. Throw it away. Now, the one thing about disposables a lot of times is they're not necessarily, let me show you guys this. This is a bad, poor quality disposable brush, alright? So you don't necessarily get the good quality as you would your real brushes. So maybe those are the tools that you like to use better because you can get better results. So what do we do? Well, let's talk about that. Because if you like to be more green, you don't like to throw all this stuff in the environment, or you have tools that you really like, and you use them. And I'm going to show you guys this. When we're on set, we have a bag for every person. Whether it's a nice bag like this, okay, here I got a place for tissues, I got a magnetic place I can put their individual eyeshadows on. We've got another pocket for brushes that you just use on that person, and whatever else you need to put in here. And then I put their name in here. So you don't have to be that fancy. You can use a little Ziploc bag and keep everybody's stuff in there. But even with brushes, you want to cleanse and sanitize. Cleanse and sanitize. So let's talk about that. Alright. So I'm going to grab these cleansers. And that's the thing. Sanitizing is the second part, is what people don't do. So I'm using today Beauty So Clean brush cleaner. Alright. So you got various different brush cleaners out there, and it's good to know what the chemicals are in it. So you see I have a little tissue, which you can also use, and this is a great idea too, you can actually use a towel. Okay, and especially a certain fabric will really help remove the dirt, alright, and the makeup from your tools. So, pink eye, conjunctivitis, colds, flus, herpes, cold sores. All of these are reasons why we want to make sure we keep everything clean and sanitized. And you're not going to get 100% of it. So I do a couple of sprays. If you see, I rotate it, and I do the other side with my cleanser, with my brush cleanser. And this is what I do in between customers, all right? And I keep going until I see no more makeup. But you're not done yet. You're not done yet. Because we just cleansed, but we have not sanitized. So I have 70% alcohol in here. And if you buy it in the big gallon jugs, put it in containers, and always label it. Because you don't want an actor going, water! That's happened. And I'm like, no, it's not water. It's alcohol. So you're being safety. You're showing them that you're being safe and you appreciate them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of spray both sides of that with the alcohol. I will wipe it again, make sure I do not see any makeup. I'm going to spray it again, and then I'm going to lay it flat on a towel. Or if you have one of those cool contraptions where you can lay it like this. Okay? Up and down. Or flat, because you do not want your chemicals and your cleansers to get in here, loosen up the hairs, and the hairs come out. Because then all that money you spent on good brushes, you just messed up. And a cool thing, Beauty So Clean makes this towel that says this is sanitized. So if you forget, this is great. you know that these are cleansed and sanitized. Lay those things flat. Alright? Now, your eyelash curlers, you want to cleanse and you want to sanitize those too. Your spatulas, cleanse and sanitize those. Remember, mascara, one person. Use those spoolies. One per person on these too. So if you put eyelashes on somebody, alright, here's what I do. I usually do the eyelash adhesive here. I use my little spatula, I put it along the lash, okay? And then I save this container. I put the lashes back against the roundness so it stays curved. And there's your gift from me. There's your gift from me to whatever actor. I do not reuse those. So if you're thinking, wow, I spend a lot on lashes, put that into the cost of your service. Because it's worth it. You're showing respect to your clients and customers that you care about their safety. Holy, yes, yes. And then this is I'm getting on the high horse today. It's why I have the fake dirt on today. Alright, so I'm going to step back and talk about alcohol. 70%, hope you might have heard me mention that. 70% is going to take longer to evaporate, so it sanitizes better. But what else can you use? Because I'm going to show you more than one product that you can use. Alright? You saw the Beauty So Clean brush cleaner, and you can find lots of good brush cleaner and brush cleaners that are more gentle to your brushes. Alright? Beauty So Clean, get this around, also makes a sanitizing spray. And we're going to talk about this in a second too. So let's say I've worked all day, I've done that between each customer, I've let it sit and I've let it dry. Do not put this still damp on their skin because they could have a reaction. I don't know if you guys see the redness in my cheeks, but even from the alcohol activated dirt I put on for you guys, the chemicals in this can irritate somebody. So make sure it's thoroughly dry. Then at the end of the night, okay, I'm going to clean it with a gentle soap. And I love this. This is London Brush Cleaners brush and sponge shampoo. We're going to talk about sponges too. And what's great is they make it for Lime Life by Alcone too. Yay, we love that. Now, it comes in different scents or it comes unscented. Because if you have people who are sensitive to smells or sensitive to alcohol, great. Now, a little bit, you can see this one's almost empty. You're going to wet your brush. You're going to go in and get a little bit of soap on it. You don't want to saturate, but you want to get a little bit. And this is a great way to help clean your brushes too. I love this one. I picked this one up at TJ Maxx. Alright, and then I go in, depending on the size of my brush, there's a bit large, medium, small, I work it in here, and I work it in here, and I rinse it with water. I get some more of the soap, which is coconut based, so it's going to actually treat your brushes so they stay soft. And I keep going until it goes from the brown to a white. And I rinse that. And I rinse it. And I make sure I get all the soap out of it. And that's the cleansing. And then I'm going to sanitize it. Whether it be the 70% alcohol or my sanitizing spray. And we're going to what? We're going to lay it flat, or we're going to lay it like this so those chemicals don't get in there and ruin those brushes you spent a lot of money for. And what's that going to mean? It's going to help kill germs. It's going to help be clean. And in that way you're not spreading colds, flus, conjunctivitis, pink eye, or other such things around. Am I right? Okay. Sponges. So, a couple ways you have disposable sponges, and then you're kind of throwing these into the environment. Or you can have a sponge like this for every person that you do. And if you do brides or something like that, get them a little sponge like this. Get them a little powder puff of their own, and this one's dirty. This one's dirty, but I'm going to show you a trick. Now, the cool thing about that I love with this this beautiful Blenderful from Lime Life by Alcone is the case it's in. It's a very fine mesh that dust doesn't get in there. Because you don't want to, when you cleanse these sponges, You don't want to put them in a solid Ziploc bag where the water stays there and you get mold build up, okay? You want air to move around and dry it, because drying is part of that cleansing process of your tools. But you don't want dust and mold and dirt to get on it as well. So this is a great container to have. And put this, add this to your bride. Put this in every actor's bag. Give them their own little puff. I put these in little Ziploc bags. And are you ready? Get yourself one of these. This is a little lingerie mesh bag. So when you have dirty sponges and puffs like this that are well made, that you can wash, and throw them in the wash and the laundry with your towels, so that you have fresh, clean towels to lay up. Put it in there with your mat. And then you've cleansed. And if you run it through the dryer, you're also kind of sanitizing those guys right there. And you can also spray it with that Beauty So Clean spray to help sanitize. Because when you go to cosmetology school, you cleanse it, but you also sanitize it. Now, so you don't have dirt on your face, right? You're all nice and presented. You've kept everything clean. And you have your palette. You have used your spatula to go from here to here. No fingers, no Q-tips in here. No using the back of your hand. I know some of you guys love that, but try to get out of the habit. Now, if you feel like you can't warm it up on here, add a little bit of moisturizer with it. Must do, or due date is a great one to add, and it helps to warm it up for you, right? Then you can take your 70% alcohol, your tissue or a towel so you could rewash and be green, all right? And you let it dry. You want it to dry, because if you're like me, the alcohol is going to cause you to be red. Now you have a nice fresh clean. And then, in case you weren't around all the time and you see somebody has gone into your stuff, I worked retail for many years, and I saw lots of things and people touching stuff, and I've gone into those stores lately, and I don't like to put it on my face, but I've even put it on my hand, and I start getting red, itchy, hot, and tight, which is a true allergic reaction. You can use your Beauty So Clean spray on your creams. Let it sit for 10 seconds. You can use it on your powders. Let it sit, and it's going to kill 99% of the germs, including E. coli. Bam. All right, I love this stuff. And again, it shows that you're caring about your client and your customer. All right. Beauty So Clean also makes little towelettes that you can use right over lipsticks. All right. You can use it on top of the powders if you want. So after about 10 seconds, close these up. Yeah, bam. All right, so I have my notes. I'm going to double check. But even with your brushes, if you use your brush cleanser in between people and you're sanitizing it with your alcohol, 70%, because the 99% is to put on your alcohol palettes to add the dirt to your face. Okay, and 99 is going to dry like that. Go back and use a gentle brush and soap cleanser to cleanse it. And remember, there's lots of chemicals going on. Let stuff dry. Be aware of the ingredients in your product. These brush and sponge cleaners are great because of the coconut oil in there. It also has tea tree, which is a natural antiseptic to start killing some stuff. I do. I want to be Alton Brown for makeup. I really do. All right. Here's another thing. I like to arrive 15 to 30 minutes before I'm supposed to work. I clean. Even if I'm at somebody's house, I clean their table before I sit down. This towel and this dry mat. And the other thing you need to clean is a chair you're going to have people sitting in. Clean that. Sanitize that. Get the dust, the mold off of it. Yeah, you can use 70% isopropyl alcohol, or you can use the Beauty So Clean, because I know this is $25 a bottle, but I'm going to tell you guys, it is awesome. It is awesome. And that's why you upcharge. Because if you're being sanitary and you're respecting, you need to educate the people you're working with as to why they want to spend a little bit more money on you, because you know your stuff. And go check out Beauty So Clean's site, because they have a lot of science in there to tell you about that. All right. Containers for everything. Your disposables. Tight, clean, closed up. Okay. Actors bags, Ziploc bags to keep those in. All right. Absolutely. Now, when you're doing alcohol, brush cleaner, and all this stuff, be in a ventilated area. Get yourself a little portable fan or a ceiling fan, because you don't want to be breathing in all those fumes. But I'm going to tell you what, chemicals take less than a minute to get from your skin into your bloodstream. And, if people have an allergic reaction, every person that sits in my chair, my first question is, do you have any allergies or sensitivities to anything? And I know the ingredients in a lot of my products. I like to study those ingredients and make sure I know what's in there. Because if somebody says they're allergic to nuts or wheat or any of those things, all right? Awesome. Now, we've worked all day. We've cleaned. We've sanitized. We kept everything neat. We have also maybe throughout the day had hand sanitizer, right? To keep our hands clean. Well, I'm going to tell you something I've learned, and I kind of knew most of my life. I just had heart surgery, so this is coming from cardiologist, rehab people. Wash your hands with warm water and a non-drying soap. Farm-to-table soaps with coconut oil in them is going to also keep your hands from being really dry. So wash your hands with the soap. Have your hand sanitizer, but 3 to 5 times using this, it stops working. Doesn't work anymore. 3 to 5 times of your hand sanitizer stops working. So at lunch, maybe even take your own soap. I don't even know if I should tell you. Okay, because some places you work on film sets, there's signs on the bathroom doors saying don't use the water because of the chemicals in the ground and that are in the water. They didn't even want us to use the water in one place. What are we supposed to do to keep everybody healthy and to not spread germs? There are good bacteria, so you might want to take your own soap with you. So one, that's not going to dry out your hands. No, 3 to 5, all right, after you wash your hands with warm soap and water, and you start using your hand sanitizer, about 3 to 5 times of using the hand sanitizer, that's it. It's not doing anything anymore. And this is coming from the medical industry. So, yes, have your hand sanitizer, but just realize at lunch, go wash your hands with soap and water again. Okay? Whenever you can sneak away. And, you may have to use it more than, 3 to 5 times, but after 3 to 5 times, the hand sanitizers are going to stop being effective. I'm on my horse today, people. This is dear to my heart. Dear to my heart. Okay. I'm checking my notes to make sure I give you guys all the info that I had written down. Keep your nails clean. Go in there. Keep them clean, because a lot of germs can hide, and especially if you have artificial nails, things like that. Make sure you get underneath those and clean it, because stuff can get in there and stay. When I'm doing fake dirt on people, first place I go is the nails and the hands, because I know in reality, you have farmers, you have people from the Hunger Games, okay, that are in District 11, District 12, and they're in a coal community. First place I went is their nails. I got their nails dirty. Ride it, girl. Absolutely. So keep your hands and nails clean. Brush your teeth. I keep these little placard things, and I keep these little mini toothbrush things. Be careful of a lot of fragrance and perfume, because some people can be sensitive to that. You want to be clean. You want to have a nice deodorant. So that you're not smelly, working out in the heat and all that. All right, hand sanitizer, we talked about that. Least amount of product is better. the less you can use is better as far as your concealers and your foundations and stuff like that. Oh, when you're setting up, remember I said clean your chair. Make sure you clean where you're setting up. Put your towel, put your water on. Clean your mirror. Be sure to take a little bit of your alcohol or glass lens cleaner and clean the mirror that you're going to have set up at your station. Even if it's not my personal Ricky mirror that I take with me, and they have the big mirrors on a film set, I'm cleaning those bad babies. When I worked in cosmetics for years, I would come with this on my chin after being on the phone. I noticed I was near some of my lovely people who wore darker makeup, and I was wearing their makeup. So I would come in, they would laugh at me, but I would clean the phones with alcohol when I worked in cosmetics for many years, every time I came to work. And I didn't catch colds like everybody else did. So that's another thing, another way. So staying clean, staying neat, staying sanitary, only have the products out that you know you're going to use. Don't have everything because that can confuse people. Gives them a psychological respect for you because they can feel, they can sense that you're wanting to take care of them. It creates a sense of security. All right. And be up to date, whatever state that you're in, since I'm a cosmetology teacher, be up to date on the sanitation regulations. What you can use, what you can't use, all right? And make sure you're up to date on those. Last but not least, I do a lot of men's grooming. So let's talk about that because that's one of your tools too. All right. Because one thing you might be doing is these little guys right here. All right, and you don't really want to go between one person and another, especially if you're doing hair too. Kids may have lice, may have other stuff going on. There may be dandruff, there may be other things. So you want to cleanse and you want to sanitize your clippers between each person. So I have canned air that I come in and I will blow out all the little particles. I will use my 70% alcohol, but I also know that alcohol is drying. So have yourself some good hand moisturizer as well, okay? Because you're going to be using these and drying yourself out. And then, so there's your cleansing. You got the hair out. You know, if you can, when you get home, you maybe run this through some soap and water. But then you use some Clipper Side or other product like this to spray on here. It kills the bacteria, but it also has oil in it to keep your electronics running smooth. Canned air, Clipper Side. I always keep that with my men's grooming kit. All right, know your ingredients. You know, and make sure you give yourself time for sanitation between clients as well. As I know, working in spas and salons, sometimes we double book, you know, and they're supposed to change. See, I'm getting a little itchy. Change the sheets. Get new towels on that bed before you have a facial. You know, watch that. If you go and they pull the comb right out of the barber side and start on your hair, no, those chemicals, go wash it with some soap and water and get that chemical off of there as well. All right? So kind of have that same mentality because as makeup artists, we don't get the training for that. As cosmetologists, one of the big things is they show you what all the skin-eating diseases look like, what all the germs look like, what indications and things that happen with the skin. You get that as a hair person, but not a makeup artist. And they teach you cleanse and sanitize. Cleanse and sanitize. So I hope this has been great for you guys. I love y'all. Be clean. Be neat. More people will come to you. I promise. I've seen it. Hope you've enjoyed this. Any questions about products or things or techniques or, you know, what else you can do, let me know. And I'll be coming back the next few days, a week or so, and I'll answer them for you. And we have a lot of great people on here that can also chirp in, that'll give you info that have had as much or more training as I have. Love you guys. You are welcome so much, everybody. And stay tuned for other, it won't be as crazy as mine, but there'll be some other cool training for you guys. Bye.